James White, you are boss of the Belong Estate Agency brand, an estate agency chain in Yorkshire. Talk to me about your opinion on females in estate agency and why there doesn't seem to be many in senior roles. Talk to me.
That's a really good question. I think this harks back to chauvinism within the boardrooms of male-dominated estate agency businesses. On a very basic level, the issue of ladies going off to have children and then not being able to come back and work full time. I think it's been a huge blocker in estate agency for the 30 years I've been doing this. And I think 2020 may well have changed the perception of flexible working, of being able to pick the children up from school. I know from my point of view as a father, I flex my week and get my children from school, and I'm the MD. So why can't all businesses adopt that kind of principle? I do think it's starting to change from a female perspective in terms of more managers, more valuers now are female than they were 20 years ago. The boardrooms, there's still an awful lot of work to be done.
But again, we're only talking about 2, 3, 4 big corporates. I mean, I saw Nicola Broomhand, the property recruiter, was on this sofa literally 4 or 5 weeks ago. And she, when we posted her video a couple of days ago, she actually said there are actually more senior females in the industry, but they just don't tend to beat their chest about it. And so is that an ego thing?
It probably is. I think so. I do think there are more females now as proprietors, and it's not necessarily just about the corporates. There's lots of regional agents out there as well. It'd be interesting if you could ever find out the makeup of the tapestry of male and female members of a board of say a 10 or 15 branch estate agency.
But they are the minority, aren't they? Okay, they're big branch networks, but is it because they're big we look at them, when in reality, are we really saying that the vast majority of estate agents, which we know is simply a fact, is that they're one man, one woman bands, there's just more of them?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that the regionals make more noise, don't they? Because they've got bigger budgets. Are the female directors in the shadows? Are they there, or do they not exist?
I mean, is the issue men holding them back, or is the issue females holding themselves back?
I think
like a glass ceiling, or
I think it's a little bit of both. I think there are a lot of stuffy old directors in the late 50s and 60s, and they hark back to the 1970s and 80s in terms of their opinion of women in the workplace, perhaps. Not all, obviously. I think that when people go off to have a family, and let's face it, some men nowadays flex their working week to be stay-at-home dads part of the time. I think they feel as though they're scared that their contribution is diluted by not being there 37 and a half, 45 hours a week.
So you're of the opinion that 2020 is the way we all have been working remotely could be a fundamental game changer.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I'm a member of the CIPD, which is a Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development, as well as other estate agency organisations. And a lot of the material that they're putting out in 2020 is how the landscape is changing in favour of equality. And I think that's just absolutely fabulous.
Well, interestingly, we're filming this just before Christmas in 2020. For the first 3 months of 2021, we've got 22 people booked onto this sofa, and 11 of them are females.
That's brilliant.
I purposely want to, everyone says if I can just follow a role model and just show that someone else has done it, you're halfway there, aren't you?
Oh, you are. And you've already had some amazing people on your sofa. Nikki Stevenson, how well has she done? That's fantastic. But what came out in 2020 as well was Nick Bradbury's most influential people in estate agency. Three out of the 30?
35, yeah.
35. It's poor, isn't it?
It is, although I think the Negotiator a couple of weeks ago put out something about the top 30 or 30, 25 or whatever the number was, of females that were big in the industry. Although one thing I did notice is it was very London-centric.
Was it?
Yes.
Right. Remember the conversation we had before we started about both being at the Halifax? Who was the MD of the Halifax?
Jane Pridgeon.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So why wasn't she a trailblazer? Why did she not influence the whole of the industry?
Difficult one. Star ladies are Jane.
Yeah.
Bless her.
Brilliant, wasn't she?
I want to get alongside of her. Thank you for your time today. I know this conversation will carry on, and I will continue to ask the question of people who sit on this sofa. I think it's an absolutely vital thing that we fly the flag for females in the industry, because I genuinely believe, as a sex, they do make better estate agents. And if there's anything we can do to get rid of this egotistical dog-eat-dog estate agency profession and create a more caring and relationship-based, then I believe, I don't know if you believe this, but I think females could do an awful lot to go.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
Thank you for your time today.
You're welcome.